struggle, even in the midst of trial, it's called suffering. For they that will live godly shall suffer some persecution. But I know we live in a faith-offended generation. We live in a generation that seems to suggest that if you name it and claim it, you can have it. Now, I believe in walking by faith, but faith does not dethrone God himself. God is sovereign, which means he can do what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. And no matter how bad you want something, if it's not in God's timing, if it's not in God's timing, and so let me help you. Some of us are either in a storm, we just came out of a storm, or we're headed to a storm. It's in Paul's writing that he encourages the church and tells them to press on, have faith, even in the midst of suffering. Because this is what suffering is designed to do. It's designed to build your character. God wants to know, can you be faithful even in the midst of a Mayday circumstance? You know what a Mayday circumstance is. A Mayday is the international distress call for help. Have you ever been in a situation where you needed help and it seemed as if God was taking his time? Well, God is doing something in the press. Paul says you've got to understand something when you're in the midst of a struggle, when you're in the midst of going through some things, when your dreams have been deferred, when the vision seems to be turning into a nightmare. You've got to understand something. You've got to stay in the press. I wish I had some help up in here. Well, your conference is about charging up. Well, what do we need to be charged up for? Because we're getting ready to engage an enemy who don't like you and care nothing about your salvation. And you can't fight the enemy on yesterday's weapon, on yesterday's word. So I need something fresh. I need him to charge me up. Because Paul says, even though I'm in prison, sometimes walking with the Lord hurts. I'm reminded when the children